like I feel strongly about having guns, or not like having guns, but like being able to protect oneself instead of just assuming that like I hate the assumption that people, when they think about like assault rifles, that anyone that owns an assault rifle wants to go out and kill somebody. I've had someone say that to me before, and I'm like, I do not. Like I own assault rifles, and I'm not going to hurt anybody with it. Yeah. It's just for fun. It's for protection. It's for
Well, okay, so you've seen a little bit of the intro. Now let's talk about guns. Now, just very quickly, I grew up as a liberal, so therefore I believed growing up that guns are bad. Society will be better off without guns. Everyone should not possess guns at all. And as life has gone by, I've slowly shifted over to that conservative realm, and I've started to understand why guns can actually be useful in a society. For example, if you look at America, you see where they're stationed in America. On their southern border, you've got Mexico. We know what happens in Mexico. We understand the drugs come through Mexico into the States. And a lot of Mexicans are armed. We know this. So if they are ever invaded through the South, Mexico, then how would they be able to defend themselves, number one? Number two, they've got the Caribbean not too far away from them. Number three, they've got undocumented illegal immigrants coming up that are bringing maybe weapons, maybe other kinds of things that could be harmful to the American people. And I was thinking to myself that if this carries on, because we've seen like 11 plus million illegal immigrants coming in, undocumented immigrants coming in through the southern border, Texas, then how would the American people be able to defend themselves if they're just not armed? And then on top of that, I look at UK, whereby if people are chasing you down, you're defenseless. You're not allowed to have any kinds of guns. You're not allowed to have any kinds of weapons on you for self-defense. In UK, if a group of guys are chasing you down, then unfortunately, and they have the intention to take it to that level with you violently, if you don't run away, if you don't manage to get help in time, if you don't manage to do something in that situation, then that could be you done. And I've seen it way too many times in the news. In addition, a lot of people are defenseless in the UK. They have no means of protection of themselves. In America, a woman could just walk around with a gun. And, as self-defense, in the UK, women have to strategize. So if they know that it's going to be dark in 2 hours, they would need to say, okay, in an hour, I need to start going home because I don't want to walk around in the dark. And I've heard it way too many times. So a lot of people are just not protected, in the UK. And, unfortunately, if someone's coming to them and they want to do crime to them, then they're going to be a victim, unfortunately. That's just the way, it goes. And there'll be a helpless victim, but there will still be a victim. So that brings me over to the debate on guns. Why is it important in society in America? Right now, we're going to watch a student explain it to a professor and explain it to the whole class. And yeah, I'm sure this will be entertaining. So let's get straight to it.
Let's just kind of show you what we're going to do. So I need 2 international students who are born outside the U.S., who live outside the U.S. They're just here. Okay, so here's what I need. I need someone who's really into guns. Like an American who's really into guns, man. You an NRA sticker? Right? Okay, you're good. All right, wait, hang on. Let me see that. Dude, not only that. Oh, shit, look at this. Here, can you get that? Put that on the screen. You got Trump. You got, dude. Oh.
All right, she's the perfect person to bring up. Number one, she has the National Rifle Association. And number two, I'm sure it's a woke class and she has students for Trump. So clearly she's not scared to say what she wants to say. And yeah, I think you need to bring her up and let her talk.
Oh my God, wait, hang on, turn around. Show her it also. Shit. Okay, so, all right, come on, let's try.
And she has socialism sucks. Damn, this girl's going for it.
Emily is into guns.
Okay.
Like really into guns. And your job is to discover, because I know in Colombia, like basically no one has guns. I mean, not in Bogota, like it's impossible to get a gun in Colombia. And in Australia, it's very difficult. So I want you to learn some things about guns in the United States by asking her questions.
I don't have good accuracy. Should I still go shooting? I really want to try it.
Oh, definitely. There's a bunch of like ranges that you can go to. I'm sure there's some in State College. I personally haven't gone shooting here, but yeah, there's people that can teach you. There's lessons. I personally would love to teach you if you want to learn.
And what kind of attracts you to the guns? Is it like the feeling of the power, or is it just the action, or is it what? attracts you to guns? What do you like?
Well, it
about
depends on
guns?
what kind of gun you're talking about. If you're talking about a rifle, like an AK-47 or an AR-15, it's something that they're just fun to shoot. Like, they're fun to go to the range and have a beer and go go shoot some skeet. But if it's like a pistol that's, you know, more used for self-protection, I get to, you know, kind of practice in a situation where, you know, you'd need it.
Okay, let me coach you right here. So, do you have a follow-up question?
What do you think about guns outside of the gun range?
I personally have a concealed carry permit. I don't carry on campus. I'm not carrying right now. But I think it's a necessity, honestly. We just saw the thing that just happened down in Texas. And if it wasn't for the armed security guard there, there was probably a lot of more lives would have been lost than the 2 men that were.
I'm like not against guns, but
No,
like
no, you're
if everyone is allowed to have them, don't you think the shootings will go down in a way? Like if it's not that easy to get guns, wouldn't it be easier to control shootings or things like that? Seems like you just mentioned Texas.
Yeah, so one, it depends on what kind of guns you're talking about. You can't just go out and buy an AK-47. Like, you just can't do it. You have to have a background check, and you have to have a permit for it. Concealed carry permits, it's a lot easier in Pennsylvania than other states to get it. So like, I just lived in DC for a couple months, and there you have to take a class and you have to be trained to do it. So it's all kind of really depending on where you think about it politically. I personally think that you should be able to carry as a self-protection thing. And that's not just from people either. I grew up on a farm where we had bears on our property that you can't really stop with.
You have bears on your property?
Yeah, you have
That
bears
was
on
my
my
second
property growing up.
question.
Okay. Do you have another question?
I was gonna say, do you like shooting more rangers or animals?
I mean, I do hunt, but
What do you hunt for?
hunt deer. I do more archery than rifle, actually.
You do archery too?
Yeah.
Could you, no kidding, could you see that camera over
Yeah,
there? Could you hit that camera with a bow, with an arrow?
probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the center of the camera or just the camera itself?
Probably.
The center?
Probably, depending on what sights you have on the bow and what bow you have.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have another question for her?
Yeah, so me being from Australia, we're not really used to seeing guns out in public. So when we went to Walmart, me and my friends were a bit like surprised just seeing it in a rack. And as we understand it, that it's just, you can't just buy it from the rack, but you need a permit and things like that. But don't you think the permit process is a bit liberal as well? Because if you have no prior offenses, I'm not too sure what the permit process is, but if you do not have a prior offense, do you think that is still too liberal to get a gun at the age of 18?
I don't, just because if you put certain regulations on certain things, so there's a thing called red flag laws that people, that some Texas politicians like Dan Crenshaw are really going for, and it's a good in a sense that a red flag law means that you can't own a gun if like a psychiatrist or something says that you are not mentally fit for it, right?
Let's flag you.
But that can be abused. So I can say that I feel uncomfortable him having a gun around me because he smokes pot. And
No, I smoke
because
pot.
he smoked pot. Sorry, I assumed. Smokes pot, and I don't think he's mentally sound for that. So it can, and when he really could be, because it was a thing that he did in the past. You know what I mean? So it's something that could be abused. That.
Okay, so here's a question that y'all missed. That I will say, when she started talking, she said, "Well, it's not like, sometimes it's different. Every gun's different. Sometimes it's not like, you go drink a beer and then you go shoot your AK-47. So, like, do you drink beer and shoot an AK-47? Have you ever done that?
Not an AK-47, but like 22s, yeah.
Okay,
Rifles.
okay.
You do, and you shoot skeet on the range.
All right.
And it's all people around you. Like, there's people, the professionals there watching. It's not like you're getting drunk. It's like you're having one singular beer.
So what do you wish people, as a gun owner, and as a gun enthusiast, what do you wish people would ask you when they meet you? So they see your NRA sticker. What are some things you wish people would actually ask you?
Probably why, I feel strongly about having guns. Or not having guns, but being able to protect oneself instead of just assuming that I hate the assumption that people, when they think about assault rifles, that anyone that owns an assault rifle wants to go out and kill somebody. I've had someone say that to me before, and I'm like, I do not. I own assault rifles, and I'm not going to hurt anybody with it.
Yeah.
It's just for fun. It's for protection. It's for
Well, it so here, this is actually kind of a really cool conversation because it's like the stereotypes that we make of like all Muslims are, or, you know, poor people are this, or white people X, whatever it is, like Christians this. It's like all these things that we can say would be like people who own assault rifles are all like this kind of thing. So it's the same. It sort of goes around in lots of different ways.
So you say about protecting yourself. So protecting yourself against what? Animals, I understand. Like you said, you have bears on your property.
People break-ins in your house.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all over the country. It happened at State College where an older gentleman at the Ramada, like last year, where the guy broke into his house after shooting up the bar. And broke into his house. That's something that you could have something to protect yourself from. It's not necessarily going out and always having it on you, but having a rifle or having a pistol in your home to protect yourself from people or animals or, I'm a big Second Amendment person, government.
Fair points, honestly, fair points. She spoke as to why she owns guns. And I can't really fault her on it. Me personally, I understand now living in the UK why it can be important to have a gun, because I see a lot of people in the UK just absolutely defenseless. Like you'll see a new story break on the news and you'll see the CCTV footage and you'll say to yourself, if that person had a gun, then they could have avoided collateral damage or they could have potentially protected themselves from the attacker. And they're just defenseless. There's nothing they can do. You know, the most they can have in the UK is like a spray for the face, but come on. You know, how many times are they going to activate that? Or how many times are they going to go in their purse, get the spray out and spray it at an attacker? It's not really a viable thing that can happen if they're being under attack under such quick time and pressure. You know, they're not going to think about that, you know, but if they had a gun on them, then, you know, they could potentially protect themselves. So I understand what she's saying. I'm not pro NRA, National Rifle Association, but I understand what she's saying. And you have to remember, in America, that's a different world to the UK and Europe. Like in America, you've got so many other factors. Every state is different. Every gun law, you know, is different in America. And let's be honest, like there's crazy people all over the world, but in America, you see the news, you get the craziest of the craziest there. So you need to have, you know, your pistol on you, especially as a female, if you want to survive there. And then you add in immigration to that, illegal immigration, where you don't know who's coming in. And then you add in the surrounding areas, you know, in surrounding areas of the United States, whereby everyone else is strapped. So of course, it will only make sense for, you know, US citizens to be strapped. I think it just makes sense. I'm sure someone's going to say in the comment section, oh, America are the ones who give out the guns, so they're the cause of this problem. And by no means am I taking America's side here, but let's just be honest. If it wasn't America, other nations have access to a wide range of guns and they will be distributing their own guns. So it's something that would have happened anyway if America wasn't dishing out guns to X, Y, and Z. So it's just something that's happened. It's been like this for a very long time, for hundreds of years, centuries. So it's just about how do, you know, we deal with it now as a society. Well, in America, how do they deal with it now? And I'd say that it wouldn't be smart. If I was to live in America, for example, I'm trying to think how I'd see it. And there's no way I could say that I wouldn't apply for a gun permit because you just need it. I mean, you listen to the news, you hear so many things. And I think I'd be silly to just go there and think, oh yeah, I'm just going to live my life the same way I live it in the UK without any kind of protection. America's a different world out there. Like she said, a bear could just be coming from the forest. You know, what do Florida have? Florida have like crocodiles. Crocodiles could be coming. So you need ways of protecting yourself from wildlife. And also, you may not be trying to, you know, take out the wildlife. Don't get me wrong, but maybe you just boom, boom, you know, quick shot. You know, they hear it and then they just run the other way. And then, you know, I've seen a video like that go viral where the guy didn't shoot, I believe it was a bear, he just shot in the sky twice, boom, boom. The bear just heard it and then he just ran the other way. So use it for that and use it for self-protection as well. Especially when you take into account all the external factors as well, such as, again, like I said, illegal immigration, such as these things. So yeah, but look, that was a perfect explanation as to, you know, why she owns guns. I can understand it, you know. Yeah, like I said, if I was in America, I'd be kind of silly or naive to think I'll just live in the States and just not have a gun and just think everything will be fine. One day will be one day. Even John Jones, UFC light heavyweight and heavyweight champion, you know, he He's the light heavyweight and heavyweight UFC champion. Like, he's beating everyone up in the fight. And someone still broke into his house. Can you believe that? Broke into John Jones's house. So if John Jones isn't safe and he's in a big house, he has a lot of money, and he's one of the toughest SOBs in the world, then, you know, what hope is it for the rest of us, you know? So again, it's about being smart. If I was living in the States, I would have to apply for my gun permit. Probably put it in a safe, put it away, but it would need to be around the house, because you just never know in the States. It's an entirely different world than Europe. You know, it's just not the same. So yeah, top marks to her, man. She was fearless. She said it, you know, for where it is. And this seemed like a very woke university or college, because even when she was talking about guns, I saw people like, oh my gosh, what's she talking about? She should shut up, all my days. And I'm just thinking to myself, no, let her talk. You need to have this conversation. It's not even an uncomfortable conversation. It's just a conversation that's necessary, especially in this time and day where there's not a lot of education in regards to guns. So yeah, don't get me wrong. If this was another time period and there was no access to guns, you know, worldwide, then that's a different kind of conversation to have. But the truth is, there have been guns, you know, within reach of many people for hundreds of years. So especially if you're living in the US and it's legal, might as well just have one, because one day you might just need it. So yeah, but anyway, guys, that's a good video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you at the next video. Peace.